Good evening, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Bowden. This is Falls Creek Flips, and it is What Sold Sunday. First of all, it is our first birthday month. We started reselling on the 1st of February 2021, and we are now into February 2022. So make sure you watch last Sunday's What Sold Sunday, because we had our very first giveaway for the month last Sunday. There will be more going up throughout the month, so keep an eye out. But first of all, I wanted to say congrats to Drew and Sarah. Love the concept that they have with their car next door video that they released last week, and then branching out into other forms of income. One of the things that I'm looking at doing is to how I can have other sources of income, and one of those you would have seen last week. I talked about scrap metal and copper and all that sort of stuff. So I actually found the guy, well, the guy found me, who was the end buyer for all of the copper and that the scrapper picked up. He'd actually run into me by accident in a computer wholesaler who I use for the security company business. And he gave me a call and said, look, I heard you're looking at doing that. If you want to have a chat, see what I do, come and see me. So he's processing all motherboards, bits and pieces, all that sort of stuff, hard drives, server racks, all that sort of gear. Here in New South Wales, which is pretty rare. There's not a lot of people doing it. And he sources all the gold off them and then sells it to a wholesaler in Queensland. So he's given me a little bit of stuff to play around with, just to get to know. So where I had last week just a couple of hard drives, this week I have a box full of hard drives here. I have a box down here full of the boards from the hard drives. And then I've got a box of the cases over there in that Baxter box. I've got more. These are the mini ones from your laptops here. I'm definitely not making any money out of it this week. And probably losing money based on the time that it took. But it is giving me a valuable education in regards to what to look for, what to find. And I've probably torn these down a little bit too far, but I was having fun ripping them all apart. You know, you've got your big magnets here with neodymium in them. You've got all your, you know, essentially just basic steel there. And then you've got a heap of aluminium that comes on them. So these are pressed aluminium, so that they're not magnetic. You don't want magnets impacting the reader. And so, yeah, something a little bit fun and a little bit different. And so, yeah, that's the whole idea. If this is your first time watching the channel, if you've come across us somehow, I am a part-time reseller that is on a journey from full-time employment to full self-employment. So I'm looking for alternate ways to bring in income, and that's one way I've found that is highly valuable, is to look at collecting copper and cabling and that sort of stuff and reselling it. So yeah, it's good that I've found a way to do it, because I can now start hitting up people, businesses, companies, sparkies that I know, plumbers for copper, all that sort of stuff, and just moving that gear on. But let's get back to what has sold and talk about the week at hand. This is what we have here. I did just have one thing sell just before I started, so I'll add that to the tally prior to showing everything when I do the end, but I'm not going to have it here. But what we have sold is a bit of a menagerie of things. There's some stuff here, some cards, there's some other bits and pieces here, so I'll go through them. First of all, we have the Asics GT 1000s. Nice little ladies' shoes, really good nick, nice and easy, didn't have to do anything, and they've sold. We then have a couple of vintage shirts. This here is a vintage dead stock Bonds made in Australia shirt. So cotton, 100% pure cotton, made in Australia, still in pack and still with the cardboard inside of it. We then have the Walkabout Australian made camo shirt. These are Army issued, so Australian Army issue shirts. And that has sold really well. A couple of collectibles. We have here some vintage Matchbox cars. The Matchbox, what is it? Matchbox models of yesteryear. These are from 1972, made in England. And one is a Lagonda Drophead Coupe 1938, and the other is a 1913 Cadillac. So really cool little cars. Gone to the one buyer there, so saves me on shipping. I then have a bunch of cards here, basketball cards that I've sold in some auctions over the weekend. Not a lot of money, but just a little bit of extra cash coming in, which is nice, and lets me clear out some of my stock. I then have a pop going out. If you are a pop collector, someone like JT or someone else out there who watches, what what sort of relevance do these little Funko tags here have? Because I see them on so many of the pops. I just feel like they're kind of a gimmicky, put on there to try and move the stuff. But let me know. I'd be really interested to find out whether or not they are. I understand the Chase ones, but I just don't get what these limited edition ones are, because I see them everywhere. But that being said, we then had a whole bunch of just our basic media that has sold again, guys. Just bread and butter. I'm not gonna go through them all, but DVDs there. Another one of the free WWEs. We then have the full complete version of Roots, full series there. So that has sold, which is cool, nice and sealed. Games, PS4 bread and butters there, and then we've got the Mario Kart on the Nintendo 3DS. Not a big seller, but still sells quickly. Ratchet and Clank, don't miss out on it, don't sleep on it, don't miss it. Bolo right there, all those sorts of words. Anything that you can make money on, go after it. And then Bratz the movie. Bratz and Monster High. Who understands why these things sell? I've still got this one here from last week I was talking about. All the gears in here. Got to get that listed this week, but I don't understand why this stuff sells, but it does. It's still got a great following, and that has sold really well. So that's what we've sold this week. There is one more thing which I said, which is a 2019 IRB World Cup Japan jersey. It's an island jersey from the World Cup in Japan. So yeah, that's what we've got. I did, however, because that's a pretty short little video, we're about 6 minutes in, I thought I'd take you through some of my regular items I use for packaging. Having worked professionally as in freight, so if you don't know, I was a national manager for Fastway Couriers for a couple of years, so I used to essentially oversee all of the franchises around Australia. I took over the Canberra one at one stage. We removed the franchisees there and I ran it and rebuilt it. I've been in Perth for a period of time. I helped out down in Adelaide. I've been all over the shop. I actually managed Wollongong before I went to head office. But I do understand freight, and before I worked for Fastway, I actually worked for a company where we sent stuff both nationally and internationally. So I understand freight quite significantly. So I wanted to talk through some of my favourite items I use for sending. And we'll start off here with the satchels, the Ozpost satchels. If you don't know them, get to know them. Buy them in bulk. I buy them in boxes, not in packs. It's not even worth getting a single 10-pack. Buy them in a box. There's 100 to a box, and get multiple boxes at a time, guys. It's cheaper, and they're nice and easy to store. Like just over here, I'll show you how easy they are to store. This is a box right here, guys. They're so skinny. I've got 2 boxes, 3 boxes right there. They're tiny. They're so easy to store. So go after them. And I pretty much don't use the large. I just use the small and mediums. The larges aren't really relevant to my needs at this stage. I then have padded satchels. So these are pretty much what I send all of my games and DVDs in, unless if they get a bit bigger. But they go in here. If it's under $20, they get $2.20 of stamps, and that sends out to them. Never have an issue with that. If it's over $20, then I chuck an Ozpost label on here, and it gets tracked. Nice and simple. These are just hard things that I use for sometimes the larger, cheap ones. So like this here is going to go in there, and it's going to get sent nice and simple. It'll fit within the realm of the 2 centimeters that Ozpost require, and that is going out to the customer. Let's move on to boxes. I only use the small parcel box from Ozpost. Why, you might ask? Well, I don't really like the shape, the narrowness of the larger ones. I feel like they're unnecessary in the style of them. So I'll use this to send these cards tonight. I may put something like, if I want to protect it a bit better, I might put Roots in there because it's well protected. All that sort of stuff. So that's what I use the boxes for, is for smaller collectibles, those sorts of items that fit within that small realm. To go from there, I then get these boxes from Officeworks, and these are 200 by 200 by 150. Great little boxes. They have a whole bunch of other ones, lots of custom sizes. I get these ones because they fit 2 pops in there nice and easy. If I cut them down, I can fit 1 pop and some bubble wrap, and it's a nice, tidy, neat box, very hardy. And then your bubble wrap, guys, get it for free, collect it, keep old padded mailers if you're getting stuff sent back, etc. whatever you've got to do. If you've got to get a big roll, get a big roll. It's fine. But the last thing which I really love, which a lot of people don't know of, and I hope you do learn to know, is the Baxter box. And you might go, what is the Baxter box? If you've never had someone that you know that works at a hospital, you wouldn't know what this is by your life. But this is some of my personal storage here. So you'll see right here, this little box here is a Baxter box. On it is written Bowden's OS stuff. So I lived overseas for a year on exchange, and that box is from when I was 16. That's how long that box has been around for. This box here says Bowden's Lego. That box has been around for even longer than that. So that's at least a 20-year-old box. That's even older, and they are both still going strong. Baxter boxes are some of the best boxes. They are used pretty much solely, and I'm sure for other things, but pretty much for your the sodium chloride intravenous infusions. So essentially your IV drips that you get at hospitals, that's what they come in right here, this little box. Hospitals go through them in a buttload, absolute mozza, but they are the strongest, most hardy boxes you can find out there. I use these to send anything and everything. I will Frankenbox these, I will cut these down, I will do whatever I have to. I mean, here's part of a box that I cut down last week to send the Monaro book. They're just so good. They're thick enough that if I slice on one side, I can then use it to fold, but also thin enough that you can fold it by itself if need be. They're just such a hardy, strong box, and I highly recommend, if you don't have someone in your life that works at a hospital, go up to the storeman at the hospital and ask him, hey mate, you got any Baxter boxes? And I bet you any money he'll be your best mate, and he'll give you as many as you like, because anytime I need them, I just ask my mum. My mum has worked at our local hospital for, how old am I? I'm 35 this year. 35? I don't know. I think I'm 35. I'm old this year. Let's put it that way. But my mum has been working there for forever, and she can just walk down to the storeman and just go, hey, mate, can I get some Baxter boxes? I did that the other day. She rocked up with 30 boxes for me, nice and easy. So cheap, easy boxes. I know people go to Bunnings and to other places like that. A lot of those boxes are crap. They're absolutely crap. They're lightweight, they're thin. You know, like this here. You look at this. This is made to send wine in, and it's just like, it's already bending, falling apart. They normally come like with cuts on them and everything. I can only recommend, if you guys have a chance, get yourself Baxter boxes, because they are brilliant. That being said, guys, thank you so much. Keep watching the videos, because we will have some more giveaways this month. I've got to come up with some plans as to what I'm going to give away, but I've got some thoughts in motion, some fun stuff. But I really appreciate all of you watching, all of you subscribing, all of you commenting, and most of all, just keep flipping, guys. We'll see you next time. Okay, guys, so here are our figures for the week. Our total sales for the last couple of days are $535.80. Our cost of goods was $72. We then have our fees and freight, which are $185.27, leaving us with a total net return of $278.53. A little bit quieter than last week. I think if you add Australia Day, school going back, end of school holidays, all that sort of stuff, I think that's impacted. So I'm not reading too much into it. We'll just keep going as we are, listing where we can, and I'm sure things will bounce back. So thanks very much, guys. Hope you're having a great week, and we'll catch you on the next video.